John Deere, Toro, and Cub Cadet are three of the most recognized names in zero-turn mowers. But if you line them up today, the gap between them is getting tighter than ever. And there isn't really a clear winner anymore. And each of these brands now brings something different to the table, and it shows in different ways depending on how you use it. So I looked at all three and broke down the key differences so you can see which mower gives you the most confidence for the money. But before we start, there's one thing you should know. And it's that John Deere, Toro, and Cub Cadet aren't just the same mower in three different colors, because each brand comes from different backgrounds and speaks to a different buyer. So first, let's take a quick look at the names behind these machines. And let's start with John Deere. And this is one of the oldest and most recognizable names in farming and lawn equipment, from tractors and harvesters to residential mowers. So when you buy a John Deere zero-turn, you're also getting the backing of a brand with decades of experience in the industry. And for many buyers, that means added confidence in the machine's durability, long-term value, and resale potential. And it's also a brand name that many people are already familiar with, which only adds to it. Now, Toro comes at it from a different angle. And this brand has deep roots in turf care for golf courses, sports fields, and professional crews. So its zero turns benefit from years of expertise in cut quality, handling, and operator comfort. Features like smart speed, user-friendly deck controls, and the MyRide suspension system on select models all reflect that focus. And Toro also pays attention to the small details that can make ownership easier. One example is the deck washout port, which lets you clean the underside of the deck more quickly. And not everyone is a fan of this feature, since repeated exposure to water can potentially contribute to rust over time, but it does highlight the company's effort to simplicity routine maintenance for homeowners. Now, Cub Cadet sits somewhere in the middle between these two brands. Now, it's not as closely tied to farming equipment as John Deere, and it doesn't have the same turf care background as Toro. And instead, Cub Cadet has made its name in residential lawn and garden equipment, especially homeowner zero-turns. And when you look at a Cub Cadet mower, the first thing you'll notice often is the design. And they tend to look bigger, tougher, and more aggressive than a lot of the competitors. You get a wide stance, a sturdy frame, and an overall feeling of getting a lot of mower for the money. And the Ultima series is a great example of that, and we'll take a closer look at one of its 42-inch models in just a minute. But for now, just think of Cub Cadet as a brand that focuses on giving you a lot for your money. So what is each brand really selling besides just the mower? Alright, and if we look at the brands alone, the takeaway is pretty simple. John Deere feels like the safe bet. It's the brand that people trust when they want something familiar, easy to service, and easier to sell later. But if you care more about mowing experience, Toro puts a lot of focus on comfort and control. And for people who are chasing the best value, Cub Cadet may be the strongest first impression. But buying by brand alone can be risky, so now we're going to look at the real machines and see who actually delivers. And for this comparison, I'm putting the John Deere Z315E, the Toro Time Cutter, and the Cub Cadet ZT1 FAB side by side. And these three make sense because they all sit in that 42-inch residential zero-turn class where a lot of homeowners are shopping. So first, let's talk about the differences in deck and build quality. Now, John Deere uses the 42-inch Excel deep deck on the Z315E, and the idea behind this deck is pretty smart. It has a deep shape that helps move air and grass through the cutting chamber, so the mower can leave a clean and even cut for normal residential use. But this is still a stamped steel deck. And on the Z315E, you're looking at a 12-gauge stamped deck, and that's fine for normal residential mowing, but if you push it harder, it won't be as strong as a fabricated deck. Now, one thing I do like on the John Deere is the deck access. The foot platform can lift up without tools, so cleaning grass off the top of the deck and reaching the belt area is more convenient. And that's a smart maintenance feature, especially if you like to keep your mower clean after each cut. Now with Toro, the story changes here a bit. On the Time Cutter 42, you get iron forged fabricated deck built with 10-gauge steel and a reinforced front edge. And that front edge is a big deal since it's usually the first part of the deck that meets roots, curbs, rocks, and rough spots. So when we talk about deck toughness, Toro clearly brings in more muscle than John Deere in this class. Now Cub Cadet also takes a more frame-focused approach. The ZT142 Fab comes with a 42-inch Aeroforce fabricated deck, but the frame is really what gives the mower its personality. It has a 2x2-inch continuous tubular steel frame, and you can feel that when you climb on the machine. It's solid, wide, and more built up than a lot of entry-level residential mowers. On top of that, Cub Cadet adds E-coat protection and triple guard corrosion defense to help protect the lower frame from rust. So for deck and build quality, John Deere still cuts well, and the Excel Deep design isn't bad at all. But I'd say Toro and Cub Cadet have the stronger build overall here. Now let's look at engines, and this is probably the most debated part of this whole comparison, because most of you seem to care just as much about the engine name as you do about the mower brand. Now in the John Deere Z315E, you get a 20 horsepower V-twin engine commonly linked to the Briggs-style residential engine conversation. And you can already guess where this goes, because buyers love to argue about these engines. Some people trust them because they're everywhere, others hear Briggs and immediately think of a basic homeowner engine. And the truth is somewhere in the middle. Toro, on the other hand, steps up a little on power. The time cutter comes with a 22 horsepower Briggs & Stratton EXI 724cc V-twin. So compared to the John Deere, Toro gives you a little more horsepower on paper. In fact, that doesn't automatically make it better in every yard, but it's worth noting. And if your grass gets thick, or you sometimes wait too long between cuts, that extra power can help. Now, Cub Cadet is where the engine conversation really starts to change, because in a ZT1 Fab, you get a 21.5 horsepower Kawasaki FR651 V-twin cylinder engine. And there's a lot to talk about here, because this isn't just a different brand name on the same kind of engine. Instead, it's a huge step up in engineering. And Kawasaki has been building engines since the 1950s, from motorcycles to aircraft and heavy equipment. And you can feel that experience in the FR series. Start with the engine layout. The FR series uses a 90-degree V-twin design, which gives it smoother operation and lower vibration. Now that may sound like a small detail, but you can feel it when the mower runs for a long time. And over a 2-hour mowing session, less vibration can mean less strain on your hands, shoulders, and back. Then look at how Kawasaki protects the engine while it works. The FR651V has a pressurized lubrication system with twin oil feeds, so the key part inside the engine gets steady oil flow under load. And cast iron cylinder liners adds durability where the engine sees the most wear. Kawasaki also builds in a rotating grass screen near the cooling intake to keep debris out of the airflow. And here's what gives this engine even more weight. Kawasaki is trusted by several big mower brands, including Skag, Exmark, and Gravely. So the fact that Cub Cadet is putting it into a residential zero turn at this price point is going to be a real selling point. Of course, mowing isn't just about the deck and engine, so now let's talk about features and comfort. And John Deere keeps the Z315E clean and easy to live with. You get an 18-inch high back seat with an hour meter and service interval decal and a cup holder. And there's also a translucent fuel tank, so you can check the fuel level at a glance. And honestly, I like that setup because it's simple. Nothing flashy, but it gives you the basics you actually use. As for the time cutter, Toro clearly thought about the moments between mowing, not just the mowing itself. And the step-through front end makes it easier to hop on and off when you need to move a branch, grab a toy, or clear something from the yard. Smart speed is another smart touch because you can slow the mower down in tight areas without losing blade speed. You also get a storage cubby, a cup holder, a 16-inch handcrafted seat, and a standard washout port. And like I mentioned earlier, not everyone uses a washout port, but it's still a nice advantage. And in this comparison, Toro is the only one giving you that built-in deck cleaning feature right out the box. And if Toro wins points for smart convenience, Cub Cadet answers with a more loaded feel. Now the package includes dual LED headlights, a rear tow hitch, a high back seat, and a cup holder. Plus, when the yard gets bumpy or soft, the larger 20-inch rear wheels keeps the mower steadier while the lap bars gives the controls a more solid response. And the only thing missing is an hour meter. Cub Cadet makes it available separately, but for a mower like this, I think it should come standard. And now if you're looking at long-term ownership, there's one more factor to consider, and that's warranty coverage. With John Deere, a model like the Z315E typically comes with 3 years or 200 hours of residential coverage. That's reasonable for a homeowner who mows once or twice a week, as long as you understand that there's an hour limit. And the warranty is the only part of it though, because John Deere dealers are easy to find, parts are widely available, and many shops already know these machines well. And if something needs attention down the road, getting help is pretty straightforward. Toro is strong in this area as well. A 42-inch time cutter is backed by a 3-year residential warranty, but unlike Deere, you don't have to keep track of the hours to get the full warranty period. Toro also has a larger dealer and service network, so parts, maintenance, and warranty work are easy to handle. But the one thing that impressed me the most was Cub Cadet. The ZT1 also includes 3 years of residential coverage, but adds lifetime limited coverage on the frame and deck shell. Now that's something neither of the other two brands offer, and it helps make this one the strongest warranty packages in the group. Now of course, a warranty only helps if using it is convenient. No matter which brand you choose, it's still worth checking what dealer and service support looks like in your area. You may only need warranty service once or twice, but when that date comes, you'll probably be glad that you didn't choose a dealer that's hours away. I'd take a quick look at buyer reviews as well. A little research now can save you a lot of frustration later. And if you want those reviews and ratings already sorted for you, then be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.